Hella fellas. Welcome back to Top 5 Choices. Today's video I am gonna do a detailed review and pick the top 5 best VR headsets 2021. After doing proper researches, we came to the conclusion that meets the best in terms of overall. Kindly leave a like if you find this helpful, and I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications if you haven't. We will be also providing affiliates linked to purchase from Amazon. Kindly use to for best offers and purchase from anywhere in the world. We'll be back with more videos. The Oculus Quest 2 is worn on the head, quite a bit like a scuba mask. Where a scuba mask's window would be, you've instead got a padded cavity that houses a pair of goggle-like lenses that sit in front of a screen, giving you stereoscopic 3D visuals. Paired with motion sensors and accelerometers in the headset, you can move your head and see the motions reflected in real time on the digital screen in front of you, as if you were looking out and moving around in the real world. It's a similarly lightweight design to the first Oculus Quest, now available in white plastic rather than a dust-hugging, fabric-covered black, with its outer shell housing external cameras that help to track your positioning and that of the supplied controllers. You tighten the headset with a Velcro, slightly elasticated fabric strap, a change, not necessarily for the better, from the more structured rubberized original. The internal improvements between the Quest 2 and the original Quest headset are significant. Compared to the original Quest, the Quest 2 offers 6GB of RAM compared to 4GB, and there's a much faster Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2 chipset running the show. This allows for greater fidelity and experiences shown on the Quest 2, as well as allowing for boosted resolutions and refresh rates. The first Oculus Quest made use of dual 1440 by 1600 resolution OLED displays, one for each eye, but the Quest 2 opts for a single LCD panel, split so as to display an 1832 by 1920 pixel resolution per eye. Whichever version of the Vive Cosmos you buy, whether that's the Vive Cosmos Play, Cosmos or Cosmos Elite, the display and the headband that holds the display are the same, so don't feel like you're missing out on extra pixels, higher field of view or a better refresh rate by buying a cheaper version. All of the Cosmos family sports a 3.4-inch 2880 by 1700 resolution LCD display that has a refresh rate of 90 Hz, and offers a 1440 by 1700 image per eye. That resolution is higher than both the Valve Index, 2880 by 1600, and higher than the Oculus Rift S, 2560 by 1440, which means you really don't notice the screen door effect at all. The downside to the design, however, is that the lenses can't be moved forward and back like they can with the Valve Index, meaning that the 110-degree field of view doesn't exactly fill your whole visual area. If you shift your eyes left or right, you'll see black edges to the picture, which isn't great for immersion. However, there's almost no light leakage around the nose, so it's not all bad. As for the design of the headband itself, HTC decided to use a traditional halo design with a top Velcro strap, and a wheel at the back that tightens and loosens the headset. The result is a very front-heavy headset that puts most of the pressure on your forehead, and can feel slightly unwieldy at times, even if it stays in place. All the HMDs in the Vive Cosmos family can be lifted up to see the world around you without having to take the whole headset off. PlayStation VR can handle 1080p games on its 920x RGB x 1080 OLED display at either 90 Hz, meaning that the image refreshes itself 90 times per second, or at 120 Hz depending on the VR game or application. And for those concerned about latency, Sony says that PlayStation VR's response rate is locked in at around 18 milliseconds, which is about 0.002 seconds faster than the highest acceptable latency before you would notice the lag in VR. Those numbers are great, but they're matched by both the HTC Vive and Oculus Rift. The one advantage Sony has that neither Oculus nor HTC can claim is that it's actually a world-class game publisher. While the other two have been trying to create connections with developers over the past few years, Sony already has them. As a result, the best PlayStation VR games list is being constantly updated with excellent fresh experiences, with plenty more arriving all the time. From shooters to puzzlers, platformers to narrative adventures, there's variety and depth to PSVR's growing gaming catalog. There's also another piece of hardware to consider when looking at buying a PlayStation VR, and that's Sony's brand new, ultra-powered PS4 Pro. With additional processing power, the PS4 Pro is capable of creating an even more immersive virtual reality experience for the games that support it. The improvements PS4 Pro promises can take many forms, from more detailed textures to better draw distances, and even a small reduction in graininess. The advantages differ from game to game, and the PS4 Pro is currently set up to only support games where the developer has enabled Pro Mode, a hardware boosting technology that tells the PS4 to use extra processing power. First, the fit. Have you used or seen a PlayStation VR headset? Then you'll have a good idea of how Rift S is worn compared to its predecessor. Whereas the Rift, and the Quest, used a thin rubbery strap that went over your crown, tightened here by a Velcro strap, and around the back of your head to two firmer points over your ears, the Rift S adds a plastic curved mold, liberally padded with cushioning, where your forehead and base of the skull are. There's still a Velcro strap for positioning the headset, but it's now primarily tightened by a dial on the back headrest. It's comfortable enough, though, like all VR headsets, it doesn't fully mitigate the fact you've got a weight hanging off your face. The Rift S is no different, and it in fact feels heavier than the original Rift in terms of its frontal weight distribution. There's a good reason for this though. The Rift S does away with external motion tracking sensors, which previously required you to use up USB ports on your PC and trail cables around your room and desk, in favor of outward-facing cameras. These are used to track your position in the room and the movements of the superb Oculus controllers in your hands, an included part of the package here. While this leads to a less visually attractive external design for the Oculus Rift S, what with its two forward-facing, two side-facing and one upwards-pointing camera on its plasticky shell, this Insight system is a far more efficient way of tracking a player and easing the setup process. Amazingly, while all these features would seem to require extra horsepower under the hood of your PC, they actually worked fine with our much older NVIDIA GTX 980 GPU. That's a boon for folks who don't have the money to upgrade their GPU after buying a $1,000 VR headset, and it could allow for more people to get into VR. That last bit is important, because as more people adopt VR, more developers will see a business case for making VR games. Right now, Steam's VR selection is a bit bare compared to the ever-expanding main store, and even the top titles selected by Valve to show off the new hardware are really just a lot of old titles that play better with the knuckle controllers. See Space Pirate Trainer, Fruit Ninja, Beat Saber and Arizona Sunshine. That said, when we played some newer titles, like Valve's Moondust demo, we couldn't help but smile. Not only do the games look great on the high-resolution screen, and play without any hitches even on our less-than-ideal hardware, but they feel more interactive with the index controller. Being able to release items by opening your hand, a completely natural experience here in the real world, feels unnatural at first after using regular VR controllers for the last 2 years, but once you adapt to it, it once again becomes second nature. Unfortunately, not all titles will do something extra with the new Valve Index controllers. In fact, during our testing we found a number of games that actually didn't work, period. According to Valve, more games will be optimized for the headset in the future, but right now there are only about 3 dozen such titles, a decent number before launch, but still just a fraction of the VR games available on Steam. When talking about virtual reality, there's also sound quality to consider.